I'm Jack Thomas, and this is my life. It's not that interesting. Oh, I'm Jack Thomas. Your girlfriend calls me daddy. It's no big deal. Scratch. We'll start from the beginning. That sounds stupid. Hi, I'm Jack Thomas. I'm from New Jersey, North Jersey. I'm a big fan of football and baseball. Love filmmaking. Love music. And that's about it. I also love sleeping. And I'm here at Syracuse University living my best life. So the only video that's ever been not funny that I've ever made was my video that I submitted to Syracuse, and the only reason it was not funny is because I intentionally made it so cliche, sad, and terrible that I even laugh when I watch it because I'm like, no one ever fucking acts like this in real life. It was so sad and like played up for the camera. And that wasn't even really an original idea. All I really did was just took an old PSA that I made for my old TV class, and like that did really well in that class, and like my teacher submitted it to festivals and stuff because they really liked it. So then I just expanded on it and made it a little bit longer and refilmed it for Syracuse. And so anything that's ever been an original idea or something that I've done has for some reason been funny, even if I've tried to not make it funny. So I don't know why. I think it's just a natural part of me. I never take anything seriously. I am extremely interested in laughing at things that I shouldn't be laughing at, if you know what I'm saying. Like,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
yeah.
I make jokes about everything. I want to read this book I saw called, it was like Finding Humor in Existentialism. It's basically like talking about how nothing matters in life, and the only thing that the only like way we can get through it all is by laughing about it and using humor. So I want to read that because I feel like that's going to be an absolute. I don't have my glasses, so I can't really see if I know people or not. But yeah, I laugh at everything. My favorite comedian is Anthony Jeselnik, and he just has like just the worst shit, like dead baby jokes. And like, it's not even the fact that it's a dead baby that's funny, it's just the absurdity of the joke that's so hilarious, and I love it. And so pretty much I'll joke about anything, and it's in all of my videos. So I've alienated a lot of people in my life. There's a lot of people that don't like me because they think I'm insensitive. A conversation between me and my dad might as well be like improv, because none of it is serious. Like none of the things we're saying is true. It's all made up scenarios and making fun of each other, making fun of my mom. My poor mom. I don't know how she's even survived, because we just brutally pick on her all the time, me and my dad. So, but it's fun. Okay, I think this with a lot of things. I think this with like singers. I think this with like fitness people. A lot of stuff. I feel this with baseball because I played a lot of baseball, and so I always felt that people, if you want to be great or like amazing at something, or like a professional, like a stand-up comedian, those people are born funny. It comes naturally to them, and they can practice, because you need to practice to be good at something. You need to practice it no matter what. Whether that be like with baseball, you need to practice baseball in the traditional sense, or like comedy, you just need to be around your friends and try to be funny all the time to practice your craft. If you want to be a legend, you have to practice, but it also comes naturally. If it doesn't come naturally to you, you could always practice, and you could always be good. There's no way that practice cannot make someone good at something. So if you're not that funny and you practice it and you like gain a sense of humor to like get people to like you, you could be good at it, 100%. But you'll never be a comedian, because those comedians are born natural. Just same with baseball. I would see a bunch of kids that were like pretty decent at baseball because their dads like got them, a lot of practice time and bought them good equipment and trainers, and they got pretty good, but they would never be good enough to like go to college and play it or be a professional, because they don't have that natural talent. People are born with it. And like with baseball, I was born with the natural talent, but I stopped practicing and kind of stopped caring once I got like into film. So then I got bad at baseball. I used to be amazing. So like, I think to be amazing at something, you need natural talent, but you could always practice to at least make yourself good.
Yeah.
And I pretty much apply it to everything. Like, even filmmaking. You can read up on it as much as you want, take as many classes and whatever. But if you don't have that natural eye for like what makes a good shot, or just a natural sense of how a good story is told, you can't. It doesn't matter how many classes you've taken or what you've learned, because you're just going to be some guy that's read a textbook, you know. But if you have that natural talent, you're going to be some guy that just has that natural talent but doesn't know shit. So you need the learning if you have the natural skills. So you kind of need both. I don't know how they remember all their material for stand-up comedy. I would forget it all. Also, I'm more of a situational comedy kind of guy. Like, I say funny things in the moment because I'm like witty and sarcastic, but I couldn't like think of jokes with punchlines. Or when I tell stories, I kind of ramble on, so people wouldn't enjoy them in stand-up comedy. It would just be like a 20-minute joke for a mediocre punchline. So, no, I wouldn't be good in the traditional sense. Maybe if I'm ever an actor, I could be in comedy movies. I could do that, but I probably won't be an actor. I'm not good at it. Maybe if I direct a comedy movie, I'll give myself like a small role. But that's probably the extent of it. I don't know this people. I have one about my friend Ben. This guy is an absolute character. I can't even beginning to try to describe Ben Viola to another human being is futile. He's fat and he has this goofy hair. I can't even explain it. And he is, I don't know. He does these characters. He's never speaking as himself. He's always doing some kind of character, doing some kind of voice, some kind of ad-lib bullshit, and just being the goofiest kid of all time. And me and him were the anchors together back in high school, like the TV anchors for the morning show. And like we were hilarious because all we would do is like we would do this like kind of like Drake and Josh kind of thing where like I was like the cool kid and then Ben was like the lovable little loser, and we would always make fun of him and he would make fun of me, and like we could get in trouble because our professor would be like, you can't make fun of each other all the time, that's so rude. And like, so we found ways to get around it, but he's a character. And so there's this thing called Project Grad after graduation, and we were just talking about the story yesterday, so that's why it's in my mind. But we're at Project Grad, and it's like everyone after graduation, we go down to some like weird place. I don't even know what it is. It just has like dodgeball courts and basketball courts and the swimming pool, and so we're all chilling, and we're given free food, and it's like everyone's hanging out for the last time before we all graduate. And so everyone's in the pool, and we're like, Ben, come in the pool, dude, come in the pool. And he's like very self-conscious. I've never seen him take his shirt off, which is fine. You can go in the pool with your shirt on, no big deal. He's like, no, man, I don't want to. And so we force him to get in the pool, and we're like, Ben, you have to come in now. We're having fun. And he's like, all right, fine. And so he jumps into the pool with a full leather jacket and jeans on and swims around in his leather jacket and jeans in the pool. And Ben wears a leather jacket everywhere he goes, and he fucking ruined the leather jacket and his jeans. And he's sitting home on the bus drive, completely soaking wet, freezing. And I look over and I'm like, Ben, why would you go in the pool with your jeans on? And he's like, probably that edible I ate before Project Grad. And the goddamn man was so high the entire time, but we can't tell because he's such a character naturally. That like he was like speaking in voices the whole time and like doing these little like bits that we didn't understand, and we'd be like, Ben, why are you like talking like an Italian mobster right now? Because like that's just something he naturally does. Turns out he was high the whole time. So I don't know if he maybe has schizophrenia or something, but we can't tell when he's high or not high. And he jumped in the pool with a leather jacket on. Miguel, can I get that water? Absolutely dying.
Okay.
I wish I did more improv. I want to practice my improv. Because I think it's really funny. And me and my friends, we have like this old friend group from back home, and we still hang out on like the PlayStation all the time, and we'll just it's with Ben and then a couple other kids, and we'll just start like someone will the room opened up. Okay. Someone will just like start some kind of scenario. Like the other day Ben was like, oh guys, I just got kicked out of wizard school. And then for like the next 45 minutes, we just do like this hypothetical scenario where we're all wizards, and it was so funny. And I just really like doing it with my friends, so I want to take a class or maybe join the improv club or something, because I think that'd be funny. And I think that suits my skill sets. I feel like I'm charismatic, but sometimes I kind of hide it or don't pursue it enough, and so I think like an acting class or an improv class would kind of break me out of my shell a little bit. The Clash I kind of played up a little bit for the video. It's not as strong as it was in the video. It's definitely more anti than I explained it. The video, for those watching, was like this video trying to explain the struggle I've always had with not being religious. And it's not like by family choice. Like my family's very religious. Not very, but they're pretty religious. Just like I kind of want to be religious because it seems like easy and like kind of fun, like to just put your hope into a higher power and not have to worry about things, being like, oh, this is the plan and stuff like that, and having like a fallback safe and a big community that loves you. But I just can't get myself to believe it, you know what I'm saying? So I've always had that struggle, but it's a little more upplayed for the video. I'm definitely a lot more anti-religious in real life, I would say. I don't know, with like history class made me kind of feel like people are listening to me. I feel like I'm bashing God right in front of all these people. Yeah, so as I was saying, like history class kind of made me anti-religious. There's just so many religions, so many, and they all have like just as much reasoning of being right than like Christianity has. So that either made me think, okay, either Christianity is wrong or just we're all making up our own shit. And so that's kind of the path I started thinking about. Like, you have Buddhism, you have, Judaism, you have Islam, you have so many, and they all have perfect rationalities of why their religion is right. So either there's a million gods and they're pitting us against each other, which I don't think that's happening, or we're all just kind of making it up. Not making it up, just like trying to find meaning in our life. That's the reason people, like, even an atheist like myself is still looking for meaning in my life, which is in a different source. So I feel like that's the way people like to find their meaning, and I like to find mine a different way. But sometimes I wish that I could be religious, because it seems like a good way to find it. That there's a guy in the sky cares about everyone, and I know that whole cliche, like, oh, if there's a God, why did my grandma die from cancer? He can't save everyone if there is a God. Like, life has to go on. He can't be curing everyone of cancer and stopping every hurricane. So I don't really like that argument when people say that oh, God doesn't exist. I don't like that argument, because he can't just, if nothing bad ever happened, no one would ever die. So I don't like that. But I don't know, just there's so many religions, I can't really believe that one is the right one. And there's so much corruption in church and religion, and even if I was religious, I would not go to church, because I've been to 3 separate churches, and they're all saying different things about the same religion that just suits whatever place you're in that mindset, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever church you're in, whatever local area that's in. And it's just, that's humans have the power, the guy in the head of the church has the power to tell you what this religion is saying, when you can just read the Bible yourself, you can just think about it yourself. Hey, Josh. What? Yeah, I will. With my art degree, that's not getting me anywhere. Piece of shit. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Those are my groupies. It's no big deal. What was I saying?
Church corruptions.
Oh, yeah, I mean, not so much corruption, just more the fact that you're trusting humans to tell you what to believe about your religion. If there is a God, he's fucking God. Who cares about this old man reading a book in front of me? What do you know? What the fuck? Because you read it more than I have in my life? that means that you can speak for God? No. And I went to church one time with my ex-girlfriend. Scum of the earth person, by the way. Well, she's not that bad, but she was bad. Very low point of my life was with her. I can go on for hours about that female, but
We can talk about that later.
but she made me go to church one time because she was super religious, and she's like, "You didn't go to church. You didn't know what my life's like." I'm like, "What?" But she takes me, and the whole time, he would go on these like kind of beautiful stories about what it's like to have God in your life, blah blah blah. But then he would just find a way to make every story low key at the end be about donating money to the church. So like, he talked about the story about this like old lady that this young man was like wounded outside of her house, and she took him in and loved him and cared for him and blah blah blah. It was like some local lady, and then fucking she's like, yeah, so you see how beautiful it is to have the love of God inside of you and to help others, just like you can help out the church by donating for our picnic next week. And I'm like, you're using this story about this old lady helping some dying man just to get money for a picnic and everything. There's like 4 or 5 different occasions, maybe 3, I don't know, I don't remember, of him telling a story and then at the end of it being like, make sure you sign up for our Tricky Tray raffle next week. So it just really made me upset. I don't like religion. I'm not religious. I don't believe in anything at all. Sometimes I wish that I could, because I'd be a little less cynical. But maybe that's where my comedy's coming from. A little tie-in with the old question. Maybe I'm funny because I'm a piece of shit that believes in nothing. Think about it. I think if you are religious, good on you, and if church helps you, good on you. Because some people just go for like the community and just feeling loved and like hearing the scripture. That's great, but I think there's a separation between the two. I think you could totally be religious without having to go to church, 100%. If you know what you're talking about and you like actually believe in God, there's no reason why you have to go to church just for that to be justified. So you can eat some fucking wafers that like they hand out some wafers that they bought from Costco and give to you, and then you sing some hymns with some people you don't even know. Doesn't matter. You don't need it at all. One second, let me text my mother. She just wants to call me. We're trying to figure out how I'm going home for break. I'm done on Monday for my finals, but my roommate's not done on Friday, and I'm taking him home because we only live 10 minutes apart. We were friends before college. We met in middle school because we were both camp counselors at a Bible camp. Isn't that funny? It is weird, it's strange. You were so close this whole time and you never knew each other.
Yeah.
And now you're living together. But
Anyways.
It's funny that we met at Bible camp and now we're both non-religious heathens living the college life. So
that's interesting.
Take that, kids. We dated the very end of freshman year, sophomore year, and then junior year of high school. 2 years. But it covered like 3 years of academics. And then the last year of our relationship was maybe the last 6 months. Just absolute pure torture for that. Absolute torture. She just was like... I kind of had this revolution when I was going into my junior year. Before this, I didn't really have many friends back then. I just kind of hung out with this girl and some of my other friends from middle school, who I was good friends with at the time, but I saw myself kind of growing apart from them, because they were all into sports, which is awesome. I love sports, but they were just into sports and talked about nothing else other than going to the gym and playing baseball, and I was kind of getting bored of them. And then I was getting bored of her, and she was super into country music and super religious. And super, just your typical Southern belle kind of girl. We're from Jersey, so she wasn't that, Southern, but just that stereotype. And I started to notice, I started hanging out with my friend Ben and Danny and all these guys, all these older kids from the TV studio, and I just started to notice that like I like being artistic and I like being funny, and I like joking about things that are not like that are taboo to joke about, and I just like being a goofy guy, and I don't want to talk about sports all the time and be that kind of person. And before this, I only listened to like classic rock music because I was in a classic rock band in middle school freshman year. I was the singer. But then I started listening to like 21 Pilots, really like started this whole revolution inside me. I listened to their music and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I started listening to like indie music and rap and like really just exploring so much culture. And I started watching movies and getting into filmmaking and listening to all this cool music and talking to these new friends from a TV studio. And I was just outgrowing this person. And maybe this is like a life lesson. I'll get a little introspective with it, but if you start to notice yourself outgrowing another person just because you were friends or just because you were once in love does not mean you should hold on to them, because it sucks. Because I was like I say progressing because I didn't like the person I was before I got cool, but maybe it's for the worse for some people, but for me it was for the better. And I noticed her not changing, which is fine. She's happy with her life and how she is, so that's great. But we should not have kept things going. And for the last 6 months, we were just miserable. She hated everything I did. She hated my friends. She was like, oh, you're always hanging out with Ben and Danny. I'm like, yeah, because I actually enjoy their company. And it just got so bad. And so it's just a cautionary tale. Don't be afraid to grow, because I changed, and now I think I'm pretty awesome. And if I was the same person I was in freshman year now, I hate myself. Because I had like this cool cultural revolution inside myself, and it was awesome, but I was tied down to this dumb girl, and we didn't have sex for 2 years, and then 4 days afterwards she had sex with another guy after she broke up with me 4 days after. So that's also a shitty thing to do, but I mean that's semantics. Who cares? Then I met the love of my life after that. She's a weird bird, but that's what I love about her. Her name's Sabrina. She's just honestly the most amazing person I've ever met in my entire life. She's from my hometown. Her name's Sabrina. She's Brazilian. My favorite. Big fan of Latin women. I love Latin women. But she's Brazilian, and she's just into all the same music. The way we met was I was wearing a 21 Pilots shirt, and she said something to me about it, and that started it. And just, we've been to concerts together, and I don't know if you ever noticed this, Miguel, but like, do you ever notice when you're around other people, even if you're comfortable, like even around my parents, I feel like I'm like 95% myself, completely. Like you put on a little bit of a show, maybe like, it's different for everyone, but like for my parents, like whenever they see that I'm sad, they like start asking questions and annoy the shit out of me, and so I can never act sad around them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then around your friends, like maybe something they say kind of hurts your feelings or something like that, but you don't act on it because it's like, these are friends, it's not a big deal. And so even if you're around your best friends, you're not 100% the way you would be like when you're completely alone, you know? But around Sabrina, I can act the way I act when I'm completely, like I've never felt full breaking down of that barrier, 100%, I am myself, no hold bars whatsoever. Like I've never had to put on a show, I've never had to act in any certain way. I've done nothing but speak my mind, and it was just complete happiness around her. Complete happiness. She makes me so happy. She makes me laugh harder than I've ever laughed at anyone in my entire life. And I think I'm the funniest person in the whole world. And she makes me laugh harder than I could ever make myself laugh. And she's just amazing. So beautiful, and she's so hardworking, and she deserves the whole world. And honestly, I think it's better if eventually she moves on from me, because I'm going to be some fucking poor artist, and she deserves some freaking rich heartthrob Brazilian man named Miguel that fucking buys her a mansion and gives her the most amazing life ever, because she deserves it, and she doesn't deserve me. But I'll hold on to her as long as I can. Sabrina, I care about you a lot, so you need to take better care of yourself in college. because you're not taking good care of yourself right now, and it's making you unhappy. And I want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. Be happy. And I don't know. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Love you. Peace. You freaking loser.
We got. Let's start. How much?
I couldn't even try. I couldn't even explain her if I tried. She's a fucking enigma of a human being. God, I don't even remember. I've been having these dreams. I've been having these dreams lately where me and my family are in this new house. We're in a big new mansion. But for some reason, the house is always the same. It's like I've been having visions of this house and this like weird layout. It has a weird layout. It has like 7 floors. I forget what it was. There's just something very weird about it. But I've been having dreams of my family being in the same house. So I don't know if that means anything. But other than that, I can't really remember my dreams. I wish I did. I'm moving this mic a little more towards me.
Question.
Man, I love talking about this. My perfect day, Jesus Christ. My perfect day would be waking up, eating a beautiful omelet, like with just fucking bacon and onions and broccoli everywhere. Just a perfect omelet. Scoop it on up with Sabrina. And then go to a movie. Then come back. Then play video games. Then get high. Then have sex. Then go to sleep. If I could do that every day of my life, that would be heaven. That's what heaven is. If there's a God, fucking strike me down and send me up right now, because that sounds like the life. So, for all the kids out there, I don't know why I keep saying kids, as it doesn't sound like a PBS documentary, but
Could be.
for all the little children out there, for all the parents, put your kid in a band. It's so fun, and it teaches you so much. I was in middle school. I had this friend, Chris. He went to a different school. He was my mom's best friend's son, so like we're family friends. And we both loved 80s hair metal. So like Motley Crue, Skid Row, some Van Halen, all that stuff. Because our dads were in bands that played the same music back in the actual 80s, and so now we loved it. And Chris was like amazing at guitar. He fucking shredded on guitar. And then he had a little brother, Mikey, who was like at the time maybe 10 or 9, and was just amazing at the drums. Like an absolute, what's the word? If someone's like amazing at like the piano when they're like 4. I forget the word, but it's like when someone's a natural at something. That's what he was. He was so good at the drums. And then we had this fucking kid named Connor, who was like Chris's friend. I didn't like him. He was a dumb loser. But he played the bass. He was pretty good at the bass. Actually, he was really good at the bass. And then the least talented member of the group was me, the singer. It's like I couldn't play any instruments, so they made me sing. And I could sing on key, so it's whatever. But it was so fun. Every week we would just like lock ourselves in the room and make songs and like write songs, and it was so creative. So much fun. And then he had like this little home studio where we would record, and we would record our own albums. And I still have 2 albums in my room of all of our old music, and that was so awesome. And then we would play live shows, and I think that's where a lot of my like charisma, and not really comedy, but just like being able, like I'm a really good public speaker, and all is because like I've sang like 7 songs in front of strangers, so I can go up and do a fucking PowerPoint. Like people always get so nervous about public speaking, but like if you think about it, there are way worse scenarios that you could be in. You could be, like one time I forgot the lyrics to Detroit Rock City in front of strangers, and I had to like kind of like ad-lib it. And if you can get through that scenario, you can get through anything in life. But it's just so fun, like being out there on stage and singing. And if I could play instruments, that would be fun too. And I really want to start a new band. I'm trying to find people that want to start a band with me, because I really miss it so much. That's my biggest regret, was like not continuing the band anymore. But I started dating that dumb girl, and like started taking up a lot of my time. So but yeah, I still wish I played music. Because I fucking love it. It's so fun. If you like music and you play an instrument and you have a couple friends that also do the same, start a band. Even if you don't play live. Like, it doesn't matter. Just being with a group of friends and going through a song together and jamming. It's so much fun and so therapeutic. So I recommend it to anyone. It's my biggest regret in life. I wish I was still in a band.
Okay.
We're called Broke. Look us up on YouTube. Broke. We were pretty... I mean, it was from 7th grade, so I sound kind of prepubescent, but... Sorry. I'm slightly above average looking, so hopefully you could stare at the camera long enough and look at me, but... Thanks, everyone, for listening to the Jack Thomas Show. I'm Jack Thomas, signing off. It's great to be Jack Thomas. See you later.